mother-in-law, you broke into our side of the house again, didn't you? Just because it's a multi-generational house, and you can access our side of the house by the stairs, which aren't locked, doesn't mean you can just barge in without our consent. Oh, and please return the dress you snatched from my room.
Huh? Are you blaming me for stealing? But I would never do such a thing. Besides, it's not appropriate for a married woman to wear such a lavish wine red dress in the first place. A married woman needs to wear clothes that are more modest and simple.
Mother-in-law? But I haven't mentioned yet which dress was taken from my room. How do you know that it was a dress that vanished?
Huh? As you already know, I'm a fashion designer, which means that I also have a plethora of clothes.
I've got at least 30 dresses, I reckon. Yet you described the dress that mysteriously disappeared from my wardrobe exactly. You do know that's practically the same as confessing you took it without my permission, right?
Well, I just happened to guess accurately which dress you were talking about.
I see. So you had some sort of superpower you didn't tell me about? Should I hire some sort of magazine that specializes in the supernatural to interview you or something? You see, I know someone who works for such a magazine, so I could arrange it.
I mean, you do like drawing attention, don't you? Fine, you want me to give it back to you, right? I'll bring it to you later.
Thank you. Give it back to me by today! Do you have an issue with that?
But I was planning on wearing it to the theater tomorrow since I was going with some friends.
But I never granted you permission to wear it in the first place. Besides, that dress won't suit you.
But
I can't trust you, so give it back to me right now.
fine, you really are such a rude wife. I'm your mother-in-law, so you need to show me a bit more respect, you know?
Says the person that just stole my dress. Honestly, I'm ashamed at how you can still say something like that after being exposed.
Hi, Wendy. I've been pondering since our last conversation. I've concluded that you need to quit your job.
Excuse me? What are you talking about? I was checking my phone since it was my lunch break when I noticed you texted me. What is it that you want from me now? Do you have another unreasonable demand?
You see, I thought about it thoroughly and realized that the reason you were so rude to me, even though you're just my son's wife, is because you work in such a glamorous place as the fashion industry. A normal wife would be content wearing a sweatshirt and some jeans and maybe even an apron. But you always dress up in those fancy clothes and accessories. You think you're better than me, don't you?
But aren't you a wife yourself? But it seems like you've got a collection of quite flashy clothes as well. In fact, I've seen you wear some of the same brands that I do. How do you explain that?
It's fine if it's me who does it. Besides, both my sons, Gavin and Leon, are passionate about fashion and work in the fashion industry. It would be shameful for them if their mother wasn't a fashionable woman, well-versed in fashion, which is why it's fine if I do it. I'm doing it for them, not for myself.
Okay, but by your logic, shouldn't the wife also be well-versed in fashion? After all, I'm also a part of this family now. And I work in the same industry as your sons. Don't you think they would appreciate having a wife who shares their interests and supports their careers?
No, of course not. Especially not someone like you as your mother-in-law. I'm your superior. Which means that I'm allowed to wear luxurious clothes. You aren't. Fashion is only going to be a hindrance in your education as my son's wife. You need to focus on learning how to be a proper housewife, not a fashionista.
Huh? My education as your son's wife? I'm sorry, but I don't recall asking you for such an education. I already have a degree in fashion design. Thank you very much. And I don't need you to teach me how to be a housewife. I can manage just fine on my own.
It doesn't matter whether you asked me for it or not. As my son's wife, you need to undergo this training. Otherwise, I'm going to make the two of you get divorced. What I'm trying to say is that I'm going to be generous enough to train you as this house's housewife from now on. And part of this training is going to sleep on our side of the house from now on. Oh, and don't forget to turn in your letter of resignation to your workplace today before going home, alright?
You make me chuckle. What makes you think that you have the power to make me do that? You're going to make the two of us get divorced, huh? Well, good luck with that, because I doubt Alvaro is going to agree with you as well. He He loves me, and he respects my choices. He knows how much I enjoy my job, and he supports me all the way.
Huh? What's with that attitude? I'm your mother-in-law, and you have no right to talk to me like that. Apologize to me right now, or else. Or else I'll make your life a living hell. I'll make sure you regret ever marrying my son.
I need to go and meet some clients after I finish my lunch. So farewell, I don't have time to deal with your nonsense. And don't bother texting me again. I'm blocking your number.
You are calling this nonsense? I'm not going to forgive you for insulting me. Your mother-in-law like this. I was planning to start your training for real from tomorrow, but I guess I'm going to have to change my plans. I'm going to start training you as a housewife starting today. Get ready for when you come home. You'll see what I have in store for you. Wendy, I was wondering why you wouldn't come home yesterday, but I went to see the garage this morning. And it looks like you came home late at night. You're so pathetic for sneaking around like this. I know that you don't want to undergo my training, but you're going to go that far to avoid it. I'm going to see you right now. And you better be ready for what I have planned for you. Jesus, and to think I told you that I would begin your training as a housewife starting yesterday. Just what is the meaning of this? You're sleeping in longer than when you worked at your office. Although this means that you did listen to me and quit your job, I guess I'll be a bit less strict on you for doing that. Thankfully, I brought a bucket of cold water though, because I thought you might not want to get up. I made your bed wet as well, but I'm sure that bucket of cold water woke you up, didn't it? It's a good thing your bed got wet, I guess because now you won't be able to go back to bed. Oh, I came up with a good idea. I'm going to wake you up like this every day now. I mean, it's the perfect way to start a day of housewife training, don't you think? Alright, it's decided then. I'm going to dump a bucket of cold water on you every day now to wake you up.
What? Mother-in-law, what in the world are you talking about? Why are you in my room? And why did you throw a bucket of water on me? Do you have any idea how rude and disrespectful that is?
Come now, hurry up and come to the kitchen on our side of the house. I'll start by teaching you how to cook because the food you make is terrible. You can't even make a decent omelet. How do you expect to feed my son with your poor skills?
But I had somewhere to go yesterday, so I stayed at a hotel. I never came home last night. And I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't need your lessons on how to cook. I'm a good cook, thank you very much.
Huh? Wait, so you didn't listen to me and resign after all? And what do you mean you had to go somewhere? Don't tell me. But are you cheating on Gavin? Jesus, I knew you were an incompetent housewife. But to think that you would go so far as to cheat on my son. I need to tell him about this right away. He deserves to know the truth about you.
What? No, I had to go on a business trip to meet some clients. I flew to Sicily right after the conversation we had yesterday afternoon. And I'm currently staying at a business hotel. I'm not cheating on Gavin. I love him, and he trusts me.
Huh? You went on a business trip to Sicily? How do you expect me to believe that? You're lying to me, aren't you? But your car is in the garage and...
I didn't use the car yesterday, and I left it in the garage. I took a taxi to the airport. And I have the receipts and the boarding pass to prove it.
What? Yeah, but you always sleep in the room next to the living room on your side of the house, right? You were in bed when I came to check on you. If you weren't home last night, then who was that person sleeping in your bed?
That must have been Leon.
What? Leon? Why would he be sleeping there?
I heard that Gavin and Leon both don't have work today. Gavin told me that Leon was going to sleep on our side of the house, since the two of them were going to play video games. And they wanted to stay up late.
What?
Oh, and he asked me whether it was alright if Leon used my bed. I wasn't going to be home yesterday anyway, so I said it was alright. I didn't think it would be a problem.
So the person I threw a bucket of water on was...
It was probably Leon. But shouldn't you go back to my room and check who you threw a bucket of cold water on yourself? Hold on. Did you seriously just throw a bucket of cold water on someone and leave before they could even see who it was? That's so irresponsible and cruel of you.
But there was no way it was Leon. He has short hair, and the person I saw had long hair.
Well, maybe he was wearing a wig. Or maybe you mistook his hair for a blanket. Or maybe you were just seeing things. I don't know, but I'm sure it was Leon. And I'm sure he's very angry at you right now. You should go and apologize to him. And to me, too. For ruining my bed and my morning.
Wendy, there's a family emergency and you still haven't come home. This is your fault, Wendy. You should have been here by now. Don't you care about your family at all?
Could you please not make this my fault? I never asked to have a bucket of cold water thrown on me, even though it was actually Leon you did that to. And I never asked to undergo this housewife training of yours in the first place as well. You have no right to interfere with my life like this.
I already told you that that was a requirement if you were going to live in our house, didn't I? Besides, this is your fault because if you had quit your job just like I told you to and agreed to my housewife training, you would have been a better wife for my son and a better daughter-in-law for me.
I would have been the one who had the bucket of cold water poured on them this morning and not Leon. Is that what you're trying to say? What makes you think that dumping a bucket of cold water on me would have been any better? How would that make me a better wife or a better daughter-in-law?
But it was supposed to be a part of your housewife training. Unlike Leon, you wouldn't have had the right to get mad at me. Instead, you would have thanked me for waking you up and teaching you a lesson. But instead, you made me throw water on Leon by mistake. And now he's furious at me and wants to quit his job.
Huh? Who do you think I am? Your slave or something? By the way, Leon just called me earlier and apologized for your actions. You know?
Huh? He apologized to you? Why would he do that? He should be angry at you, not me. You're the one who caused this mess.
Yes, he said he was going to resign because of this. He said he couldn't work for you anymore after what you did to him.
Huh? What in the world are you talking about? What does me making a mistake and dumping a bucket of cold water on him have anything to do with him resigning from his job? He's not working for me. He's working for the fashion company that he loves.
Well, I don't think there's any point in hiding it from you anymore, so I'll tell you. I haven't told you about it until now, since Leon and Gavin didn't want me to. They thought you would react badly to the truth.
What in the world are you talking about? Stop talking and just tell me.
You seriously can't guess the truth for yourself based on what I already told you? You see, I'm actually the CEO of a fashion company that Leon and Gavin work for. I'm their boss, not their colleague.
You're what? Why didn't you tell me something this important until now? How could you keep such a big secret from me? How could you deceive me like this?
You see, Leon and Gavin came to me before me and Gavin got married and told me that it was probably a good idea to keep it a secret from you. They thought that judging by your personality, there was a high possibility that if you found out that I was at a higher rank at the company than the two of them, you would start bullying me. But at the end of the day, it looks like there wasn't any point since you started bullying me regardless, and even tried to make me quit my job so I could undergo your housewife training. You even went so far as to try and dump a bucket of cold water on me this morning. Leon saw his mother's foolish actions and was so shocked that he told me by phone call that he was going to resign. He said that he was too ashamed at his mother's actions to continue working at my company.
But all I was trying to do was train you as this house's housewife. What's so wrong about that? It's your fault for being so disrespectful to me, even though I'm your superior.
Huh? So you seriously think that what you did was perfectly normal? First of all, I don't plan on becoming a housewife. And even if I did, I would never ask for this housewife training of yours. And second of all, I don't think that what you had in mind for me was training, but rather, you make me do the housework for you. Anyway, Leon's not actually going to be quitting. Of course, Leon is a highly competent employee, and so him quitting would be a huge blow to the company, which is why I convinced him to stay at the company.
Oh, is that so? Good on you for not letting him quit. I guess I just panicked for no reason then.
No, you didn't panic for no reason. You panicked because you realized that you messed up big time. You threw water on the CEO of the company that your sons work for, and you tried to make me quit the job that I love. And you insulted me and disrespected me countless times. You should be ashamed of yourself. And you should apologize to me and to Leon. And to Gavin, too. He's probably very disappointed in you. You went a bit too far this time.
Huh? What in the world are you talking about? What do you mean? Things aren't going back to normal?
It's the same for my husband, Gavin as well. He's not just going to pretend that you didn't do anything wrong.
Huh? Seriously, what are you talking about, Wendy? What do you mean, Gavin as well?
It seems that the two of them are going to have a discussion with you and your husband tonight at your side of the house. Please listen to what they have to tell you.
Huh? Just what is going on here? Are you in some sort of plan with the three of them or something?
Like I said, just listen to what they're going to tell you tonight. Well then, I'll be staying at this hotel in Sicily tonight as well. Goodbye.
Wendy, please do something about this. Stop my sons from doing this. I'm sure they'll listen to you if you tell them that. This was all just a big misunderstanding. You have to help me fix this. You're the only one who can.
Oh, you're talking about the discussion you had with them yesterday, right? Wait, hold on. Are you seriously trying to ask me for help right now? After everything that you did to me? What makes you think that I would want to help you? You've been nothing but rude and abusive to me since the day I married your son.
But of course you have to help me, because I'm your mother-in-law and I'm telling you to. At this rate, the whole family is going to fall apart. Leon says that he doesn't want the girlfriend he's currently going out with to get bullied like you were by me, which is why he was going to go by his wife's last name and live with her family instead. And Gavin said that he's going to be moving out with you by the end of this month. He said he can't stand living with me anymore.
Well, I guess that was only to be expected, don't you think? Honestly, I'm surprised this didn't happen sooner. You've been treating them so poorly for so long. You always try to control their lives and interfere with their happiness. You've been acting like a tyrant, not a mother.
Not only that, but even my husband as well. He said that he was going to get divorced from me. Why? What did I do to him? I've been a loyal and devoted wife to him for decades. I've given him everything he wanted.
Yes, I already heard about it from Gavin. I was honestly a bit surprised to hear that your husband was going to divorce you. But I think that it can't be helped, I guess. He must have finally lost patience with you after having to live with you for so long. He must have realized that you don't love him, but only yourself.
Why? What did I do to make him lose patience? I was the perfect housewife. I cooked for him, cleaned for him, took care of him. I did everything a wife should do.
Can't you figure it out on your own?
I can't. We got along so well as a family up until now.
Are you sure that's the case? I only heard about this from Leon and Gavin, so I can't really say much. But apparently you were quite the difficult mother growing up. You never supported their dreams, you never praised their achievements, and you never showed them any affection. You only criticized them, pressured them, and manipulated them. Have you ever thought about whether you've been fulfilling your role as a wife and mother in this house?
Yes, everything I did was perfect up till now.
I see, so that's what you were thinking. Even when faced with the truth, you still say things like that without hesitation. You see, what Gavin told me is that you barely did any housework and made your husband do most of it, even though you didn't have a job. Despite that, though, you kept acting like the master of the house and kept telling everyone else how to live their lives. You never respected your husband's opinions, and you never appreciated his efforts. You never cared about his feelings. You only used him and exploited him.
Huh? What in the world are you talking about? I would never do such a thing.
Never mind. And if I say this to you, you're just going to reject it, so I won't even bother trying to explain it to you anymore.
Huh? What even is that? Who do you think you are? Tell me why my son and husband are doing this to me. I know you fed them some of your lies and made them do this, didn't you? You snake. Tell my son and husband that you were the one who was wrong all along and not me or else.
It looks like words alone won't be able to change your mind. I'm not going to talk to you about this any further, since I think it would be for your own sake if you thought about this for yourself.
Huh?
We're going to be moving out soon, and I don't have any intention of visiting your side of the house anymore.
Hold on. Fine, I get it. I'll forgive you for being so disrespectful to me until now. So tell my sons and husband to stop this madness. Oh, and I promise I'll be nice to you from now on. So please don't move out of the house.
But isn't that your problem, mother-in-law? This is why your son and husband are fed up with you, I think.
Huh? What are you talking about? What do you mean my son and husband are fed up with me?
Well, this is a bit early, but farewell, mother-in-law.
What? Wendy, I'll give you anything you want. So please, just tell my family that they're making a big deal out of nothing. I don't want to be left alone. I'm already in my 60s. Wendy, you can't just do this to an old woman.
You should have thought about that earlier. Goodbye, mother-in-law. And good luck with your life. You're going to need it. After that, Gavin and I packed up our bags and moved out without saying a single word to my mother-in-law. We didn't even bother to say goodbye or thank her for anything. According to my husband, my mother-in-law was an example of a woman who was raised in a wealthy family and ended up being selfish and arrogant, expecting everyone to treat her like a princess. She never cared about anyone else's feelings or opinions, only her own. She must have been quite the mother to make her own son say something like that. And I unconsciously felt bad for Gavin, considering the difficult childhood he must have had. He never received any love or support from her, only criticism and pressure. A few weeks after Gavin and I moved out, Gavin's parents got divorced. My former mother-in-law moved to her parents' mansion in the neighboring prefecture, which was currently occupied by her brother's family. But apparently, she was told by her brother, "Aren't you a bit too old to come home like this?" She now lives with her brother's family, being avoided and given cold looks by them, and is no longer as arrogant as she once was. My brother-in-law, Leon, decided to get married after his parents divorced. Apparently, my former mother-in-law only found out about this after the marriage, and now cries to herself in her room while being avoided by everyone around her.